Welcome to the 1910s. Join me for the historical events, the inventions, and the despair. Emile Kraepelin named a new disease called Alzheimer's, along with Alois Alzheimer. March 1st, there's an avalanche called the Wellington Avalanche. Sir Edward Albert Sharpie Schaefer proposes calling the diabetic medication insulin. And Kellogg's is the first cereal to give out prizes. Houdini achieves powered flight over Australia. Garment workers decide that they want to go on strike. Mark Twain dies this year, as well as Elizabeth Blackwell. Elizabeth Blackwell was helpful alongside Florence Nightingale to organize the National Health Society. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, Ravens. Today I am bringing you the Decades Legacy Challenge. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining. My name is Misty. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to join the Raven family. If you hit the notification bell, it's going to notify you when my videos go live. So let's go ahead and jump in. Today we are entering into our 1910, and so we know that when we enter 1910, we do have some rules that we have to go over. I do, as always, have our rules linked in the description box below, so you can go ahead and look at that. But let's go ahead and take a look at our rules. So as always, this is the 1910s. We are going into World War I and our women's suffrage movement in this decade. So all the rules from 1900 still stand with the following changes. So if you are a male and you are a teen, a young adult, or an adult at the start of this decade, they will be going to war. We generally would be using a cow plant for this, but I do have the war mod, and so we will be using that in this gameplay. So we will, when it is time for war, we will be going ahead and going into war for that time period. I do have some soldiers already in place in Strangerville where the war section is set up, and I will go ahead and show you guys that once we go through the rules. So we're not going to go through this whole cake eating of the cow plant stuff. We are actually just going to use the mod. I will, if they're married, go ahead and allow them to try for a baby before they go off to war. And because we do have Strangerville, we will put them in the military career so that they will be in the military career for this time period of 1910, because that is going to be their quote-unquote job during the war. All our male Sims, if they die, then we know that the next male sim in the family would then become heir. If we don't have any male sims that are surviving, then we would look at our daughters, and their husbands would then become the heir, assuming that they didn't die in the war. Basically, it just goes whatever the oldest daughter's husband that survives would become the heir. For traits, any sim returning from war does have to take a negative trait. Those traits would be gloomy, hot-headed, clumsy, insane, lazy, mean, paranoid, or non-committal. In our home, we are allowed drywall and painted walls now, and we are allowed Murphy beds. So we are going to be giving our house an upgraded look. Teens who do not earn a C or higher in high school must be sent away to another household. I do have a build that I'm going to be showing you guys that is going to pertain to this, and the reason for that is we are going to have to send those kids away if they go to school. We no longer have to pay that $1,000 for them to go to school, because teens now can go to school without having to pay. I believe that's how that works now. Because during this time frame, they realized, because all of the immigrants were coming in, they realized that education was more prominent. Like, they were having to teach so many people because of all the immigrants coming in. School and education became, pardon me, much more important. So education was on the rise. So that's why it's so important that if you didn't get good grades, you were sent away to like reform school. So I have built a reform school for our build, and you guys will be seeing that coming soon on the channel. And so that is where these kids are going to get sent if they don't do well in school. As this says, the war did last from the early summer of 1914 to the fall of 1918. The U.S. didn't enter until 1917. So as I said, I do have soldiers currently in Strangerville already. So those soldiers, we're going to go ahead and enter them in, and they're going to go to war in 1914. And then in 1915, we'll enter in the next batch of soldiers. 1916, we'll enter in the next batch of soldiers. In 1917, our group of our children as well as our spouses will go into war, and we'll see who survives. If our Sims want to attend university, they may do so after they've served active duty. So if they return from war, then they can go to university afterwards. After they have returned from war, if they decide that they want a career, then they could go ahead and go into either business, the criminal career, critic career, culinary, doctor, education, engineering, entertaining, the writing career, the gardening career, interior decorating, the law career, the military career, the painter career, politics, scientist, writing. Women cannot have a political career, but they are allowed to participate in activism and do protests, and that falls into that suffrage movement. Part-time work. So the men can be fishermen, lifeguards, or manual laborers. Women can be babysitters, lifeguards, or manual laborers. Teens and elderly cannot have part-time work. Children and teens are allowed to join the scouting career. So as we know, as you saw in a previous episode, scouting became really, really big. So our children and our teens will be doing scouts from now on, because that is very, very big. Scouting became a huge thing. So we'll be getting them into the scouting while they're in school as children now. Soccer became popular, and generators are allowed. I don't know anything about that, so probably won't be doing that. Again, we will go ahead and link this. Like I said, it is in the description below if you want to go and have a read on that. Let's go ahead and jump back in and take a look. So this is the house. I am actually going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a once over, but let's go ahead and go to the map. I just want to show you guys Strangerville and the setup that I've put it in, because like I said, we do already have some soldiers in place. So for Strangerville, we already here do have World War I's trench. So this is our World War I trench. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look here at that. So when does come time for war, we will go ahead and put some people here in our trench. I actually just downloaded this off of the gallery. It was already pre-built, but this is a war trench where they can come and they can have war here. So this is where our war actually will be taking place, here in the trenches. So let's go ahead and hop back into the map view, and I'm going to show you where one of our other war areas would be. This here is our military. It is our British group. So we have our British soldiers here. So let's go ahead and jump in so I can show you our British soldiers and where they're bunking down. So this is our area where our soldiers stay. So our British soldiers are living here. And so they do have themselves a bunker. They've got some tents. We have a little area here for them to play cards and a picnic table here to sit. They've got, a guitar for some entertainment and a fire pit, some bathrooms here, and a little area where they can work out and they can play, I guess, on the little monkey bar area, a sink and a trash can. And yeah, so they've just got themselves this little area here where they live. They can do their wash right out here outside of this whole area here. So that is where our soldiers go and they live. Now their illustrious leader lives here in this house here. And then there's a saloon here. And then we have the school here And then up here we have ourselves the Veterans Park. So our fallen soldiers will be buried up here. And all of these downloads for the like all of these I just downloaded out of the gallery. So if you go decades and then you type all this in, all of these are actually just in the gallery. This is a beautiful build. It is a national cemetery for a veterans area. So it's absolutely beautiful. I really, really liked it, and I thought this was a lovely homage to the veterans that would be fighting in the war. So our fallen soldiers will be buried here. And so I actually am just going to go ahead and jump back in to the house, and we're going to go ahead and give it its 1910 makeover, and then I will see you guys in the next episode of our Decades Legacy Challenge once all of that is done, and we will pick up right where we left off and continue on with 1910. But that is all for this episode because it's going to take me a while to give the house its update, and I don't want the episode to get too long. But I do hope that you enjoy all of the updates for 1910 and that you are enjoying the series so far. The next episode actually that you're going to be seeing is going to be an update on our extended family members. So you're going to see a story on the sisters. So I'm going to have a story on Helen, I'm going to have a story on Merida, I'm going to have a story on Annabelle, and I'm going to have a story on Matilda. So that's what we're going to have next in the series. I don't know if it's just going to depend. I may in between that area. There may be one more episode in between, like the girls, because these guys may age up. Emery and Franklin might age up in between there, and so we might have one episode where we have their birthday. But the next episode we are going to be having is going to be... Okay, so their birthday is here on Saturday. So today is 1910 and me redoing the house. If I do Helen here, I'll do their birthday here, and then we'll do Merida, Annabelle, and Matilda is probably how I'll do that. So we will have an episode in between where we see Emery and Franklin age up. So that is the plan, just so that we can get caught up on what's going on in the girls since they've been in finishing school. So I don't want you guys to lose touch with the sisters and what's going on with them, because it is very important what's going on. And as we know, Matilda did just get married, so I do want us to catch up and get involved in their lives as well. So we will be getting an update with them as well. So let's go ahead and jump into Build By, and I am going to do an update on their house. So let's get started with that. you.